Okay, so I know that I need to speak loud and clear and concise. Hello, my name is Adrian, and welcome to my new Booktube channel. I am an English major going into my 4th year of college, and I've wanted to do this for a while, so here we are. I'm doing Booktube now, or attempting it. This may or may not be the first channel of, not the first Booktube channel out there, please. This may or may not be the first video you come across from me. I'm not sure if this is going to be posted. We'll see. I did film some footage for the Booktube Newbie Tag, but that kind of went a bit awry. So we'll see. I might edit it and figure out if I can get it like fully fixed. Then it might be full of a lot of like cutting, who knows. Otherwise I might refilm it and put it up later, because that one isn't as like time-based compared to like what I want to do for this video, which is my August TBR. So depending on which one goes up, or if I refilm, the background is going to look rather different, because currently I'm visiting my mother at her house. Why wouldn't it be at her house? Silly me. Hopefully the volume's fine. I hope y'all can hear me fine. I'm having to speak up a bit just because I'm using my phone to record, because I don't have a camera. I don't have a mic either. So we're just relying on my phone for now. And depending on how loud I am, I'm not sure how the volume is going to be. So please bear with me for any quieter videos, or if I get too loud, because I honestly have tried recording a few different times and the volume has been iffy. So this is a background that you may see more when I'm visiting my mom. We'll have a very different situation when I'm with my dad, because in both places I'm not going to be in front of a bookshelf or a collection of books for a while, just because I don't have any in good places. You'll see me talk about in my Booktube Newbie Tag. Oh, the amount of word vomit that my brain is wanting to do right now, it's disconcerting. Anyways, real quick, I should note that for some of these books in my TBR, they're not like concrete, like, yes, I'm going to read this, like these are definites. Quite a few of them are just ones where I'm like, I am expecting to need lighter reading, or like want to have some ideas of what I'm going to read. So these are the books. So those books will be ones that are like the TBR that I'll draw from. However, I will distinguish the ones that I'm definitely going to read, because there's less of those, quite frankly. Anyways, enough of a rambling introduction. Let's dive in. The first book on my TBR for August is War and Peace. In this very lovely edition. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say this is the prettiest cover I've come across. I have a separate edition that I like the cover of more. But I'm partly reading this for a class, and this is the edition that was kind of recommended. So I wanted to read out of it. Plus, it's good for like if I'm going to be tabbing it and annotating, to have one that's kind of like, this is the one that's my tabbed and noted annotated. Tabbed and annotated. And then this version is my pretty copy. I don't do that. I haven't done that with a lot of books, but there are one or two books where I'm like, this will be the book I reread. This is the one that I'm going to tab up and annotate for class, or if I'm in a book club. So yeah, I'm reading War and Peace. I started it about a week ago because I want to see if I can finish it by the end of August, which is why I have like some of these tabs on the top. I'm actually, let's see, where's my bookmark? There it is. I am actually 168 pages in, but like, I want to like get through it at a decent pace, so I have like a set kind of page goal, or an amount of pages I want to read each day to be able to like finish it at a decent pace by like the end of August. And so yeah, that's what these like are marking, is all of the different like groups of those pages up to a little past halfway. Because I figured, I was like, let's not waste a bunch of post-it notes to keep making those. So I was like, yeah, let's stop, because I can just reuse the rest. But yeah, this is the one that is going to take up a lot of my mental energy. I'm foretelling, I should say. So a lot of the other books on this TBR are to accompany this and provide some more like lighter material, shorter books, just because, well, I have been liking it so far. As I continue, I have a feeling that I'm going to like be like, I just need something simple, something light, or like I just need fantasy or something like that. We'll see. So yeah, War and Peace, the first book. The next two are poetry books. So let me grab the second one just because I'll talk about both of them. I'm not a big poetry person, but I want to get to these because I need to decide if I'm going to keep them or not. And that's this book, which I don't want to pronounce the title of because language like that kind of makes me uncomfortable. But let me get it up close so you can see. I hope that's clear enough. So I'm just gonna say Children of the Reagan Era, just because like I know it's the title and obviously that makes it okay, but personally I want to avoid cursing because I have enough people in my life who curse in ways that make it so it's uncomfortable for me. Too much information. Let's not dive into that. Anyways, Children of the Reagan Era by Reginald Dwayne Betts. I have no idea what to expect with this. Aside from, like, it's a modern poetry collection from this author. Let me look at this real quick. Okay. So it seems it's like some poetry looking at, like, criminal law and like the truths behind like things like being guilty, a prisoner, the law system. What else? I'm just trying to get an idea from this because they don't have like a synopsis or something on the back. They just have some reviews, so I'm trying to go based off of that. But yeah, there's that one, that book of poetry. And then next we have The Carrying by A. Limon, I think is how you pronounce her last name. Which, according to the back, the main thing that it says is this continues further and deeper into the bloodstream following... Oh. I was reading that wrong. The carrying continues further and deeper into the bloodstream, following the hard-won truth of what it means to live in an imperfect world. And I think I read a couple of these at one point, and was like, it's fine, but I want to give some poetry a chance before I go back to college at the end of August. So we're gonna see what that's like with those two books. If I pick them up. There are obviously like ones that I'm like, will I pick it up? I might not. The next I should really break it up a bit more so it's not like this awkward, like you see me reaching. Anyways, the next book on my TBR that I definitely am going to read is Frankenstein. I have this Norton Critical Edition that is a lot longer than the actual book. This is where the book ends. And the rest is just like contexts, historical sources, influences. The lighting might be getting dimmed. I'm not sure. There's clouds. Sorry, getting distracted. I apologize for the lighting. There's no actual like overhead lights. It's just like this lamp and one that's over there. But I can't change anything right now, so let's just talk Frankenstein for the moment. I don't think I need to introduce Frankenstein to anyone. Like, it's literally in like the culture. It's ingrained, actually, like in the cultural zeitgeist. This is one that I started a while back and then kind of put down because I had to pick up some other stuff because I was reading something for the same class I'm picking up War and Peace for. So yeah, I had put this down because it wasn't like fully like capturing me at the time. And there was that. Not that it's bad, honestly. I think it's pretty like decent so far. I did pick it up again last night because I got through the reading I wanted to get through with War and Peace and a separate book that I plan to have finished by the end of August, so I'm not talking about it here. The end of August? No, the end of July. Oh. Anyways, this one, I don't know. I could possibly finish it by the end of July, but I don't think I will because there's 3 days left in the month, so like with War and Peace and this separate book I'm reading, I don't know if I'll pick up this anymore, but who knows, maybe instead of you seeing this talked about for August, I might just have it as a reading, as a part of the wrap up for July, if I do a wrap up for July here. Actually, it will probably be in the same area because I'll be here until August 1st. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyways, that's unrelated. So, yeah. Frankenstein. The next book that I have on my possible pickup pile, there's a word I'm trying to think of that would describe that better. But anyways, is a little book by Robert Louis Stevenson called The Club. Now I came across this in a secondhand bookstore, I think it was. And it seemed like such a bizarre little book because I saw this club and I was like, okay. Anyways, I read the back and I decided to take it because I was like, this just sounds so interesting. So if it supposedly follows a young prince who, with his loyal and brave servant, find some adventure in joining this group called the Club. Now, apparently this is a trilogy of short stories about this club that is for people with a strong desire to end their lives. So it's like going to follow those. So I'm curious to see how this is. It's so short. It's 59 pages. So, yeah. That's gonna be a possibility. Next is a book that I've wanted to pick up a few times, but never got to because other books kept coming in, or I would not finish the books I placed ahead of it in time because I would be going to college and coursework would get in the way because and stuff. But it's one that I hope to actually finally get to, and it's a graphic novel called A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, an author who I read his trilogy. What was it called? The Chaos Walking trilogy. I read those a while back, so I knew of Ness, and then when I came across this, I was like, I gotta read that. Because I really liked the Chaos Walking trilogy when I read it, which is like The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men, I believe, is the trilogy. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about here. This is a graphic novel. From what I understand, this is kind of like a situation where a boy has his mother, who I believe has cancer, and at nights, or one midnight, I should say, a monster shows up who is like ancient, wild, and is seeking the truth of some sort. I don't know, that's just what I kind of got from looking into it a bit. What's cool is, like, I think this is something that Patrick Ness picked up from a person who passed away before they could actually do it, so I think that's what the meaning is behind inspired by an idea from Seobhan Dowd. I have no idea if I even pronounced that first name right, and I can't look it up because I'm recording on my phone, so let's just leave it at that. I'm excited to read this. This is one that is higher on the priority for ones to just like pick up, possibly. So yeah, A Monster Calls. Next is the weird one because it's a third book in a series, and I haven't talked about the second one yet because I have that one also for August, but you'll see it. It's just I'm going through them by size, so for whatever reason, it's just the way my brain wanted to do this. So the next book is The Barcode Prophecy by Suzanne Wayne. Now this is the conclusion to a trilogy, I think. I'm not sure. I did read all three books, and I was kind of disgruntled by the size difference between the last one and the first two, which I think also does signal a divergence. That's what my brain is looking for in the story and stuff, because if I remember correctly, I liked the first two, and then the third one was quite a disappointment. I don't remember for sure. We'll see though. I picked up the first one. Was it earlier this month? Yeah, I think so. So you might see me talk about it. Sorry. I had like a burp or something. I don't know. Anyways, this will possibly be picked up, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, I didn't say what like the whole world was about because it's a third book. I'll bring it up more when I get to the second book, because I can actually say. Can I say more about the second book? Whatever. I'll talk about the setup when we get to that, because then it'll make more sense because it's the second. Just work with me, my brain. Next on my TBR is another trilogy, but it's from my childhood. Like, this is a childhood favorite of sorts. Like, it's very well beloved. And I'm thinking of rereading it for a sort of like maybe video series where it's like Nostalgia Revisited or something like that, like seeing how childhood books hold up to nostalgia, which might be kind of miserable, like make me sad, or it could be very good to get like a good revisit to some childhood favorites. I don't know. Anyways, on my TBR is the 100 Cupboards trilogy, which I haven't seen like anyone talk about before, but it's a trilogy that kind of... Well, let me talk about the setup for the first one. So this boy named Henry York ends up getting sent to Henry, Kansas to live with his aunt and uncle and their 3 kids, his cousins. And they're all like girls, all that stuff that's not as that important. Anyways, one night he hears like some thumping in his wall because he's set in the attic, right? His room is put in the attic, that's where he's staying with them. He hears some thumping on the wall, and then like plaster falls onto him, and he starts chipping away at it, and there's a cupboard door there, like a mystery cupboard door. No idea why it's there. And he keeps chipping away at it until he discovers that on this wall, like in the background of this... the cover art of this book, it's a wall with 100 cupboards. Is it 100? There's 100 cupboards. And it kind of follows as they he and one of his cousins kind of explore the cupboards. There's like stuff they put through, but there's also the dangers of what comes through. And eventually there's like exploration into these cupboards because it seems that each cupboard opens into a new world. And that's kind of it. Because I don't want to say anymore, even though I've read this series. This is one that I very much am fond of. So yeah. Oh, before I say that, the trilogy is 100 Cupboards, the Dandelion Fire. It's just Dandelion Fire. And then the Chestnut King. Oh, and real quick note on top of that as well, I was just looking at the covers. I'm so disappointed they changed the covers in the editions I've seen now. Like, I was looking up the series because I found out there was a prequel or something like that was published, and they have different covers now that look so much less like that, and I'm not a big fan, but what can you do? Anyways, let's move on. Okay, the next few, let's look at this. So I have, like, the next 5 are just ones that I'm going to quickly go through because they're also ones that are either, like, childhood books or they're children's books, because for the simplicity, something lighter for reading War and Peace. Or there's one that, one that's a revisit, so it might also be a nostalgia read. We'll see. Anyways, I just want to go through them real quick because Will I go through them quick? I don't know. We'll see. I just grabbed all of them at once because I was like, they're a bunch of children's books. Anyways, so the first one I have here is Ralph S. Mouse, which is following one of the ones where it's following a mouse who has a motorcycle that he gets kind of sent away from the inn that he's originally from. Because the reason I want to read this is because I have read and still have the first book of his adventures, which is The Mouse and the Motorcycle. And it's where he gets like this motorcycle, and I think through like making noise, he's able to make it move somehow. Don't remember exactly. Anyways, this is where he goes to one of the kids that he met at the inn. He goes to that kid's school with him, and then like there's kind of like some stuff there. I don't know all the details. Next is Tuck Everlasting, which is this one that kind of follows the Tuck family, who like found this spring where if you drink from it, you would be like, get eternal life. And it's kind of like this 10-year-old girl stumbles onto their secret, and there's kind of like following this and seeing what it's like for the Tuck family being everlasting, I guess, as the title says. So yeah, there's that one. This is one I've read. I vaguely remember it. Wait, do I know this? No, I don't. I was just gonna say, because there's a thing on here on the back that says, probably the best work of our best children's novelist, and I was like, wait, do I know this author? No, I don't know of any other works by Natalie Babbitt. Anyways, that's Tuck Everlasting. That's the next one. Then we have two that I'm like, these, I don't even know how to describe them because they're just kind of like very much like children animal ones, and it's Goldie and Hamster Magic. And this is just kind of like the puppy place where you kind of follow a puppy trying to find a home or something like that. And then this is like where there's a magical pet shop and there's a hamster, and it's kind of like the hamster guides this girl who gets her or something, gets this hamster. I don't know. But it just seemed like a good one to pick up because it sounds silly in a good way. Like talking hamster, kind of like magical hamster stuff. Sounds great. And then we have one that is just, I wanted to read it because I want to determine if I want to keep it, because it's just like a weird one, and it's Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Louis Sachar? I don't know. It's a bunch of like stories from this school that's just way out of whack because it's supposed to be like 30 classrooms all horizontally, but somehow the builder made a mistake and did it vertical instead. So it's 30 stories tall. And it's just like at the top, at the highest classroom, there's this like evil teacher or something. I don't know. I remember there's a point where I think a girl is turned into an apple and stuff, and it's just like there's all these wacky characters that are supposed to be here, and it looks like it'll be a quick silly, fun read, maybe. Or just one that I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me, I'll get rid of it. Because I am looking to get rid of any books that don't spark joy. Ooh, we're getting down there. Next on my TBR is Margot Silk Forest's A Short Course in Kindness. Yeah. A little book on the importance of love and the relative unimportance of just about everything else. I don't know why this book for August, but it's just like something that I had it at some point because it grabbed my attention. And there's the part of me that I was looking through all my books to decide what I was going to read for next month, and I was like, I would love to see what that is. Because while I do feel myself as a kind person, or I try to be a good, kind person as much as I can, it might be good to see what else people have to say for how to be a kind person. Because I know I sometimes come across differently than I mean to, even like with being just kind of blunt or communicating odd. So yeah, I want to see what Margot has to say about kindness. Okay, this next one is a bit of a weird one because I have like, no idea what to even, like, say about it. Actually, it's not that weird. It's this, like, book called Trust and Betrayal, Real Life Stories of Friends and Enemies. It's like a collection of stories. Yeah, this is just one that kind of came into my hands in a weird way, and I need to determine if I want to keep it, because my high school library was getting rid of books, and I picked this up at the time, and I was like, oh, sounds interesting. And I just kind of took it because I was like, why get rid of it? But I might donate it somewhere if I don't like it. So I just want to read it so I can finally know if I should keep it. You know? So this is a potential read. Oh. This is one that I'm excited for. And I probably will start because, yeah. The next book on my TBR, the second to last one that we're looking at, is The Great Hunt, Book 2 of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I have this edition with me. I have a hardback copy, I think. But yeah, this past July, I read the first one. I really liked it. Like, I'll be talking about it in a wrap-up, maybe. Or maybe a review. I don't know. I probably will eventually talk about it on Instagram for sure. I just need to get all of the other Instagram books up. Which I didn't even mention. I have an Instagram. Quick plug. Real quick. Okay. So, the universe is apparently very against me plugging my Bookstagram. I literally, like, finished recording, and I thought I was done. I checked. I got cut off right as I was saying, like, here's the plug. And then, as I was trying to, like, re-record, my sister came in, brought her cat in, and then the dogs went crazy, so now we're trying this again. So just real quick, if you're interested in checking out my Bookstagram, I'll put a link to it in the description below, and maybe put it on the screen at some point during this whole spiel. Anyways, I was talking about The Great Hunt. I am really looking forward to this. I probably won't finish it probably. It's possible I won't finish this in August. Because I don't know what else will be coming up, because I mean, I have this whole other pile, and I'll be moving to college in the middle of the month. Is it the middle? It's like towards the end of the month, I guess. Anyways, I'm so excited because I just finished The Eye of the World, and I wanted more. Especially more Loyal, because God did I love Loyal. I'm like, Loyal. Anyways. The last book, which is The Barcode Rebellion, is the second book I mentioned much earlier on in the video. I suppose I could, like, cut this and put it there, but I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna be weird to have it be, like, it's suddenly at the top, and, like, we're just gonna leave it as it is to be consistent with the pile. Anyways, this takes place in a world where, like, it's like an alternate universe of sorts. It takes place in 2025, which was far in the future from when the books were, like, originally written, which was, like, early 2000s. I think that this one was, like, published around 2006. Anyways, Missy, no. Shh. Sorry, Missy's seeing something out the window and she's growling, so forgive the growling. I'll probably jump because she's, like, prone to just barking out of nowhere, and it freaking terrifies me every time. Anyways, this takes place in a world where basically a giant corporation is kind of, like, taken over, sort of, but it's still, like, everything seems to be running normal, like, things. It's just they have, like, power in the government and stuff like that. Anyways, there's this whole, like, new thing where it's, like, a tattoo that's a barcode that goes on your arm. And then like when you scan that, it's like all your information, like driver's license, bank account, medical records, all that stuff is kind of there. And the thing is like weird things seem to be happening to some of the people. The main character's dad commits, like, unalives himself. I don't want to, like... Oh. I hope that doesn't make an issue for that earlier book I mentioned, the Unalive Yourself Club. I might have to do something about that. I don't know what the censoring of things like that is. Anyways, and then her mother ends up like going into like a depression and stuff. She decides to against getting a tattoo, gets like very ostracized, and then eventually there's like escalation with the situation to like, can you actually avoid it, stuff like that. And like this is kind of following some of the fallout from that, as she kind of like ended up in the mountains and stuff, and there's some sci-fi fantasy elements added in. But yeah, the Barcode Rebellion, I'm looking forward to reading that. That's all. I'm so tired. I already did all this. I felt so good. Anyways, thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube things like subscribing, liking, getting the notification bell, hitting the bell? Hitting of the bell, yes. If you want to see more, or you want to like do that, I need to say that to get more people, which I want, not for the popularity or like the fame, but who can I talk to about books if I don't have an audience? So yeah, I appreciate it if you do. If you don't, that's fine. If you don't like this, thank you for watching. May you go peacefully on your way, I guess. Anyways, ciao.